Let's try not to.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're live. Dougie T TV, episode 14, here in the Landi Lodge. As you see, we have lost the big brown leather recliner chair. Our new
And I'm not happy about it.
He's not happy about it, but he's going to be breaking in this new mesh chair. I mean, one of the problems I was having is...
What's up? You want to talk about chairs?
We could talk about chairs. I love chairs.
Well, because I came here and I was expecting to be in the big brown couch.
The big brown leather couch.
Because from my view, it's a staple on the Landi Lodge. And then I was told I'm not going to be on the couch.
Well, you see, one of the problems we were having with the couch is people were despite it being this beautiful brown leather love seat recliner, people are having trouble getting comfortable. Because people will be leaning back.
People couldn't get comfortable?
People couldn't get comfortable. Like if they were talking and engaging because the seat's so big, so they had to like...
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. If you actually, like you've been doing this so you understand better than I do if that's the feedback you've been getting. Obviously,
yeah, some people are having a little bit of trouble on
I've heard on some other podcasts just about sitting for long times trying to talk. This is my first time on a podcast, so I can't speak from experience. All I could say is I know this brown leather couch and I wanted to sit in it.
Well, listen, it's in the living room.
Right. I could still sit in it whenever I want.
And after we do this podcast, we'll go in there, we'll watch the rest of the Seahawks-Cowboys game, which
I don't know how I feel about.
You don't know? I mean, I know I want the Cowboys to fucking lose. That's an easy one for me.
See, as a Giants fan, like I'm not a hardcore football or sports person in general, but as a Giants fan, I should want the Cowboys to lose too, obviously.
You got some beef with the Seahawks, though?
But I don't. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't really care. I'm not that invested in this particular game.
I am. I want Dallas to fucking lose. I want Seattle to move on.
Why do you feel so passionate about it?
Well, because they're my division rival, and
right. But wouldn't you maybe like to see the Eagles against Dallas to see if the Eagles can take down Dallas? Wouldn't that be a little more exciting?
Truthfully, the most gratifying thing that could happen is the Eagles beat the Cowboys in the NFC Championship and beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
That's what I'm saying.
But here's my thing: I just don't want Dallas to have any chance of winning. I just want them out of here.
Okay. Well, from my perspective, I don't think Dallas is going to win.
Me neither. I don't think Prescott is a Super Bowl quarterback.
That's
By the
what
way,
I'm saying.
Shout out to my boy Mike DeQuattro if you're watching. Yeah, I'm going to shit all over your team.
Why? Does he like the Cowboys?
Yeah, he's a Cowboys fan. I was just on his podcast, Picked Last Podcast. Look it up on Spotify. I was just on their podcast
Yes,
on Thursday.
I saw that you were on their podcast. That is very cool. That's unfortunate that he's a Cowboys fan.
It's very unfortunate, mostly for him.
Why is he?
I don't know. I mean, he's like me. I mean, it's the same shit, man. Like, I'm an Eagles fan.
But you think he has some sort of story, or it's not just like
I don't think it's a story. I don't think it's a story. It's just like it's funny. It's like there's a weird thing about the NFL that like of all the sports, it's the sport you see the most like out of town fanhood. At least I think.
You think so?
Yeah. Like, what baseball fans do you know that aren't Mets or Yankee fans around here? What?
No, I'm trying to think.
You know what I'm trying to say?
I hear what you're saying.
Like hockey fans, I know some Devil fans, but that's down the fucking block.
No, I hear it. I definitely hear what you're saying.
Like football, people are all over the map.
Yeah, well, I think football, a lot of people get invested in players.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
Definitely, because like at least with quarterbacks, some quarterbacks are more fun to watch than others.
Well, or I feel like for some people, they may like a team that's their home team or whatever and have a quarterback that they really like, then that quarterback gets traded, and then they want to follow that quarterback to their new team.
Yes, that actually did. That happened to a lot of Giants fans when they used to have Frank Tarkenton back in the day. Okay. And they traded him to Minnesota. So a lot of
Giants fans went to Minnesota. Is that John too?
That's John 2's dad. That's the origin
That's what I was
going
to say. Well, that's what I'm saying. Most people have some sort of story.
Yeah, there's always some kind of origin story.
There's a reason why your friend likes Dallas. I'm sure there's some reason, whatever it may be.
Maybe it was Troy Aikman. Who knows?
It could be.
That's when we were growing up.
Could definitely have something to do with Troy Aikman. Obviously, he was a star. So
Jason Witten too.
I don't know him. I don't know enough about sports.
Oh, he was he's like the greatest tight end of all time.
He was a tight end.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's that annoying guy who announces.
No, I do know him because he announces.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know.
No. See, I don't know him from like following football when I was younger when he was playing.
Right.
But I've heard him announcing now because he definitely does he ever announce the Eagles, I guess? What night does he do?
I think it's Sunday Night Football is what he does.
I definitely heard him do a game with the Eagles talking about Zach Ertz and like doing tight end talk.
Yeah, he was probably talking shit. He always talks shit on the Eagles, but he loves Ertz, so I'll give him that.
That's what I'm saying. I think how could you not love Ertz? He's pretty much,
In my opinion, he's the best tight end in football.
I think he probably is too.
And there are other tight ends, obviously, that you can make a good case for.
Of course.
But I would have to go with Ertz.
I think Ertz probably is too.
So what do you... I don't want to stick on football for too long.
That's
obviously
fine. We
you
can
and
shift from football.
Because we can shift from...
yeah.
But I wanted to
I'm
get your
saying shift
opinion.
from football, yeah.
Gotcha. I wanted to get your opinion because this episode is going to come out tomorrow morning before those games.
What episode?
The one we're doing right now.
What we're doing right. Okay, I
one
wasn't sure when it was going to come out.
Gotcha.
I wasn't sure what the turnaround was. I just
Gotcha.
assumed it was maybe a couple days. But you're going to put it out tomorrow, you think?
YouTube usually takes me a couple days. Audio is always the next day.
The audio will be out.
Audio
Okay,
is always
okay,
next day.
Okay. Good
So
to know.
I wanted to get your opinion on those games.
Tell me the two games.
Well, let's start with the Eagles and the Bears. How do you see that fleshing out?
I just think it's a great game. I think the Bears are a good team, but I don't know. The Eagles won the Super Bowl last year. I think they could definitely beat the Bears.
Do you think Foles' magic is back?
Yes, absolutely. I think
You
Foles
think
is
it's-
incredible.
you think it's the real deal?
Nick, I've been saying that Foles should have started the season. Like, you know what I've been saying about Foles.
I'm gonna pause. I'm just gonna give it to you real. You absolutely have been saying that from the beginning.
That's what I'm saying.
Something I can give to you. You have said that
I've said that Foles is the Eagles' magic. Like,
Yeah.
I've been saying that, like, without Foles last year, if Wentz didn't get hurt and was performing and had to be in the playoffs, you don't know if they win.
Well, that's the thing.
You don't know if they win.
We've never seen Carson Wentz in a playoff game. He might be a notoriously bad playoff quarterback. We don't know. He could be the clutchest quarterback of all time, but we don't know.
We don't know.
But what we do know is Nick
that
Foles.
Foles has
Nick Foles-
showed up.
Yeah,
We know that Foles has showed
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, no,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
Like, Wentz is still rolling the dice.
Yes.
Wentz is still rolling the dice.
So let me put this question
Because
on you.
I was just shocked
Go for it.
with Nick Foles. Like, I understand, like, again, I'm not huge into sports, so, like, I don't have the greatest knowledge on all these details, but seeing Nick Foles, he wins the Super Bowl, he's the MVP, you would think he's going to start next year.
Well, I
but
think what
Carson
made it
Wentz,
hard-
everyone thinks is so effing
Well,
great.
here's the thing. Is last year when Carson Wentz was playing up until week 15 where he got hurt, he was the best quarterback in football.
And I understand
You know?
that.
No, yeah, I
understand that.
So Foles came in, took over, closed the deal, and then
That's what I'm saying.
they started the season again. Foles got to play the first two games. He had a historically awful preseason, but then he had an okay game one and a decent game two. They put Wentz back in. Wentz played well, but not well enough to win. And you can say you can put that fault on him. You could put that fault on the defense, Doug Peterson. It's a shared blame for sure.
Definitely, because
But-
the defense had issues and other. I watched a lot.
Well,
of
it's
Eagles games.
the
There were
practice
issues.
squad secondary.
Yeah,
is
no,
the
I know. That's what
problem.
I'm saying. Yeah,
That's
there
why
were
this-
issues. There were other issues outside of the quarterback for sure. But
Well, running back, we've been
Yes,
hurt. Now that
yes.
Sproles is back, things are a little
Yes.
bit better, but we've been
Yes.
really damaged at running back.
Well, I think Foles is the magic. I think there's something different about the team when Foles is on the field and is the quarterback. I don't know if it's just because Foles is
I'll
much
tell you what it
older
is.
than Carson Wentz, right?
Yeah, he's like 7-8 years older than Wentz.
That's what I'm saying. So I just think whether or not the guys just respect him more or whatever it was because they won with him last year.
I'll tell you what it is.
Or whatever it is. I just think there's something more special about him when he's playing than what I've seen the games with Carson Wentz.
I 100% agree with you, and I'll tell you why. It's a combination of things. First and foremost, here's the thing. One of the most amazing things about Wentz and his numbers is his touchdown to interception ratio. It's immaculate. But
Wentz, you're saying.
Wentz, his
Okay.
touchdown to interception ratio is immaculate.
That's great.
But a big reason for that is he loves Zach Ertz, and
Right.
he's always dishing it to Zach Ertz. Why? Because Zach Ertz is such a fucking monster. Nobody's going to go up and intercept the ball from Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz is usually going to be open. Zach Ertz is arguably your best weapon. So I understand the leniency on Zach Ertz, but Wentz loved this guy. Loves this guy. I shouldn't have used past tense.
But no, I know
He
where you're
dishes
going with
it-
this.
but
He
dishes
only
it
to him.
And then
And Foles spreads around.
Spreads around. I mean,
Like,
look,
who was
we
that
have-
new good? You
we
got
have
someone new
Golden
who's really
Tate.
good.
Listen.
Yeah, Golden Tate.
Alshon Jeffrey.
Who'd you just get this year? Was that Golden Tate? Yeah,
Golden
he's
Tate.
great.
But check it.
You
We
have some great
We have
receivers.
Alshon Jeffrey, who would be a number one receiver on most teams. We have Golden Tate, who
Yeah,
would be
who's
a
great.
number one receiver on most teams. Nelson Aguilar, a stellar number
he's
two,
great, yeah.
is the number three.
Yeah.
Zach Ertz, like Darren
But that's what I'm saying.
Sproles.
But Wentz only likes to throw to Ertz.
Ertz. So the defenses were able to
Yeah,
just be
they-
like
yeah,
one-dimensional on
yeah.
it. But now that Foles is spreading it out to Ertz,
And that's that Foles
Alshon,
magic.
That's the Foles magic.
Like Foles to me is just even though Foles, like, obviously he was always kind of like a second string guy, right? Like, he doesn't have a lot.
No, absolutely not. When he was
so
drafted, he was drafted to be the first string, eventually be the first string guy and take over. The Eagles were to franchise him. He started for the Eagles 2013, 2014, had an immaculate 2013, had a low 2014. He got traded to the Rams in 2015, played for Jeff Fisher, who's notorious for ruining quarterbacks. He fucked up. He fucked up Case Keenum. He fucked up Nick Foles. He was fucking up Jared Goff. Like, historically, Jeff Fisher is terrible with quarterbacks.
Is this a head coach? Is this a head coach?
Head coach. Historically terrible with quarterbacks. So Foles crumbled in 2015, and he figured he was out of the game. He didn't have anything left in him, but the Eagles picked him back up, gave him a chance, and so be it. He ended up taking over in Week 15 last year.
Yeah, no,
closed the deal, and now he's a fucking football immortal.
Well, yeah, and he also, I don't know. I've been about Foles, like I said, all year.
So I want to put it on you. I want to put it on you. Do you think no matter what, Nick Foles should be the starter next year?
Ooh, I don't know if I'd say no matter what. We have to.
So do you have a line in the sand? Like, if he makes it to this game, he should be the starter next year?
Honestly, it's really hard to say because this is the thing. I think, like, Nick Foles won the Super Bowl with the Eagles.
Yes.
If the Eagles want to, like, make him that guy, that, like, he's their guy for the next few years, like, while he rides out his career, they could do that and sell Carson Wentz and get a ton of money.
Yeah.
So,
or
like,
draft picks, too.
Whatever they want to do. It would be worth crazy. Like, Carson Wentz.
Oh,
like
he can get you a lot.
Numbers,
He'll get you a number one in a round 3, too.
Exactly.
He can get you
Something
first
crazy.
And third. Yeah.
So, I think Nick Foles, if he wins one playoff game.
Ooh.
If he wins
so
one
if he
playoff
wins
game.
Tomorrow, you think he's the guy?
If he wins tomorrow, that's all. Because, dude, he started the season, and like you said, what did he go, 1-1 or something?
1-1 and his win wasn't a very good game, but his loss was actually a better game for him. But
regardless, so he started 1-1, and then when he came in after Wentz got hurt, didn't he go like 5-1?
No, he's undefeated since he's come back.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
3-0.
That's what I'm saying. So if he wins one playoff game, you know what I mean? That's proving a lot. He went through the entire playoffs, won the Super Bowl last year.
I feel like. Because here's the problem.
Because Carson Wentz has never even played a playoff game.
Yeah, you're right. But here's the problem. You know what I mean?
Doug. Like, Carson Wentz proving again to win in the playoffs. Yeah. Obviously, you want him to go as deep as possible. But if he even wins one game, and then is like, let's say it's Dallas or the Seahawks, whatever it is, the next week, and he's competitive, and it's close, and they have that magic,
right?
You know what I mean? Why wouldn't you just make him the guy?
Here's where it gets
cheaper.
Hard.
He's cheaper. He's cheaper.
That's why I wanted to get you on. That's why I want to pause you. We have Carson Wentz for the next 2 years under his rookie deal.
Oh,
Nick Foles next year. Okay. We have a team option.
Yeah, I know you said this
to retain him for $20 million, and it's a question of do we want to pay
retain
that
him for how long?
1 year. 1 year at $20 million.
That's kind of tough.
Foles can buy out of that for $2 million. This is where things get complicated because if Foles wanted to leave and go get a 3-year deal for $60 million, he could. Look at the deal Kirk Cousins got. That guy's never won a Super Bowl. You're not gonna.
Kirk Cousins is trash.
Yo, Kirk Cousins choked. We can talk about that for a second.
Kirk Cousins is trash.
Yo, he just can't win in the big games, dude.
Made your life.
No, Well, because Mitch Trubisky made my life, but Kirk Cousins he choked, and I'm glad.
Kirk Cousins choked, and that got the Eagles in.
So what do you think? Do you think it's obvious the quarterback market is way too inflated?
I just prefer Foles over Carson Wentz. I just always have.
And I think
I just think
it's
honestly
tough. It's tough.
No,
man.
This is the truth from my perspective. Like I said, I'm not the hugest sports fan or football fan. Like I somewhat follow.
Well, you're more into baseball compared to
all the sports.
Yeah,
baseball and the Yankees is my primary thing that I follow. But regardless,
more than UFC.
It depends. That's a hard call because
speaking of which, we can jump into that next.
We can get into that, but UFC is so easy to follow.
Yeah,
because it's like sporadic. Like baseball, there's a game every day, so it's like it's a different type of following.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
But what were we just saying before that about Carson Wentz and Nick Foles?
About who the Eagles should keep. You prefer Foles. You like Foles magic.
Well, no,
Foles
this is what I was going to say.
$20 million.
From my perspective, I've generally seen more games of Nick Foles than Carson Wentz.
Okay. And you've
know
seen
what
the
I mean?
best games.
That's what I'm saying. I've seen all of like great games of Nick Foles, and I've seen like games of Carson Wentz when he's like lost or throwing an interception.
True.
You know what I mean? So it's just like from my perspective, obviously I know Carson Wentz is great, but like I wasn't watching him. Oh, sorry, Nick.
You're good.
I wasn't watching him last season at the beginning of the season
when he was a
killing
monster,
it.
when he was
you know what
an
I mean?
absolute
I wasn't watching.
It
those
was some. You know what a
games,
big part of it was? A big part of it was he was also a mobile quarterback. If he didn't
which
have
is
any,
huge, but now he's hurt.
well, because of his knee, the Eagles told him not to really run the ball this year. Stay in the pocket. So he took away a big portion of his game, but he still put up good numbers. That's what makes it so hard. Is like Carson Wentz is still
But if you're a mobile quarterback, that's a huge
your
advantage.
next level.
That is what's his name?
Russell Wilson.
No. Who's the young guy this year?
Who's the young guy this year?
The
Patty
Chiefs.
Mahomes.
Yeah,
Patty
that's
Mahomes.
You know what I mean?
Baby.
Like,
yeah.
you take away his running ability.
No, because defense
He's
would
not
play
the
him
same
different.
coordinator. He's not the same quarterback.
You're 100% right, because then defenses
He's
can...
not having the same year if he doesn't run the way he does.
I agree with you. But while we're on the sports, I want to hop over to the UFC.
You do want to go to UFC?
Unless you got
Okay,
more you
let's
want to
talk-
say
no,
about...
No, I'm good on the
All right.
football. But I'll just say, I'll call the Eagles for tomorrow against the Seahawks.
Against the Bears.
No, against the Seahawks are tonight.
Seahawks against the Cowboys right now, yeah.
That game, I don't know. I'll call the Eagles against the Bears just because I watched the Giants beat the Bears.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and
I feel you,
Giants
I feel you.
and the Eagles beat the Giants twice.
Truth.
I think the Eagles can definitely beat the Bears. I just think they can, and I don't know if they will, but I think they can. And what's the second game?
The second game is, hold on. Yo, Joe! What's the second game tomorrow? First game. Chargers Ravens. I got Chargers, baby.
I think I have Chargers too.
I have Chargers.
I think I have Chargers too, just because that game I'm not really invested in.
I love the Chargers. I want to see Old Man Rivers actually pull it off here at the end.
Yeah, that would. Yeah, but I'm not really invested in that game. But I would prefer the Chargers.
But I'm going to be going in. I got the Eagles over the Bears tomorrow, 21-14.
That's what you think?
I think so. 21-14.
Straight all touchdowns.
All touchdowns. 21-14.
It's possible. All right, move on to the UFC.
UFC. So, is the UFC dirty, bro? And I'm getting into the John Jones thing.
Okay.
Well, what are your thoughts on that?
What do you mean? Is it dirty though? That's a very vague.
Because, like,
question.
bro, all right. So they found drugs in his system, a very
Yes.
minuscule amount.
Yes.
But there are previous fighters who have been caught for the same drug at the same amount, and they've been suspended. The UFC, because it's John Jones, decided to move the event from Vegas to Los Angeles so that they could legally have the match with John Jones' failed drug test. Like,
no, I know all this.
Okay.
And I may be a little better informed than you, but I'm not like completely
I would hope so.
informed.
I'm hoping
but
you
I'm
are.
not completely informed.
Okay.
From my understanding, like with cage fighting, there are different rules from state to state.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So in some state, like he was taking something that wasn't like steroids. You know what I mean? It was it wasn't actually GHB, but it was something ish like that.
Something that had trace amounts.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Like
It had
that,
some enhancer of some sort that, like, I guess in Nevada is a bigger deal than it is in California.
Surely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like for whatever reason, like, because you know how like there wasn't even UFC in Madison Square Garden in New York up until the past couple of years.
Correct.
Like cage fighting,
That's very new.
You know what I mean? Was illegal in New York in general. So
Truth.
like different states have different rules and different laws. So like, it's hard because, like, I think the actual government with the sport like the UFC, where, like, there's real physical harm and involvement. Like, what's that company or organization that does the drug testing? I forgot what it's called. It's like some acronym or something. I'm sure you've heard of it.
Maybe, but nothing comes to my head.
I can't think of the name either, but there's some, like, organization that I think is affiliated with the government that does the drug testing that can literally like show up to, like, when you're scheduled for a fight, they could show up to your door at any time and surprise drug test you.
Jesus.
Yeah. Like when you're signed
so
up.
it's very random.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
It's crazy. It's crazy random. Like they take the drug testing seriously when you're doing a fight. But I'm just saying it may be based on where the fight is, what state it's in, and then that state is doing it.
Well,
and each state may have different standards.
Well, that's what I think what happened is he fails the Nevada standards,
right?
But he passes the California standards.
Exactly.
You know,
that's what I'm saying. So does that make the UFC as an entity dirty? I don't know.
It's
hard because the UFC kind of is like Las Vegas based.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like Las Vegas is the home of boxing, fighting. It's like the city of sin. So like I get that that's like a huge part of it, but they've taken it elsewhere. They do fights all over the freaking world now.
Well, my problem is this has happened to fighters before, and none of them got their fight moved. I understand none of them are John Jones, but it's like this isn't even John Jones' first offense. This is his second or third offense now. I know it's his second. I feel like maybe it's his third, but I know it's at least his second. This is his second offense.
Well, this is the best argument I can make.
Iaquinta should get bumped again. Fuck it.
No. This is the best argument I can make. Is that the way I look at it, it's the same thing like the NFL. The UFC, at the core of it, is an independent corporation.
100% trying to make money.
That can do whatever it wants to do and make different calls. And people say, why is this athlete in the NFL? Like with Kareem Hunt and other people, like, what do they hide shit? They drag it out. Right. They try to keep people protected. If you're a superstar athlete, you get more leeway than the less superstar athletes. It's just favoritism.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Well, I know is John Jones draws a lot of water for the UFC. Well, they know plugging him in a fight means ratings.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So
he headlined the title fight. He is one of the best fighters in the world for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's in. So you're not. There's no part of you that's turned off by this move by the
absolutely.
UFC. Yeah, I guess that's kind of what I'm trying to explore.
Absolutely. I'm not turned off. Dude, you have to understand.
I love the UFC. I'm gonna watch UFC.
That's what I'm saying. I'm
not
turned off
them.
I'm not turned off by the UFC. I'm more turned off by John Jones and like that weight class now. Like I'm less invested in like who the light heavyweight champion is and stuff. Like I'm more stoked about Amanda Nunes fight than anything.
Oh, she took her down. She took down Cyborg,
oh my god, wait, you weren't here for this.
I didn't see it live. I was at the
No, you were at David's concert.
David Freeze, Brown Sugar and the Blind Albinos.
Yes.
Got to give the shout out. But go on.
But bro,
we
watched it live. Well, first of all, I screwed up because I was so convinced Cyborg was going to win.
You bet on Cyborg.
I bet Greg $5 on Cyborg.
Jeez.
I bet $5 that Cyborg was going to win. I was so... Dude, because I watched the pre-fight show. I'll give you a little story. I watched the pre-fight show. And they had on this, like, legendary Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy. Who I don't know what his name was, but he said it was, like, over 20 or 30... like world champion, like he was a champion jiu-jitsu something.
Gotcha.
20 or 30 times. You know what I mean? So he's been doing this for like decades.
Best of the best.
Pretty much.
Gotcha.
And so like they asked him like, who do you think's gonna win? And basically this is what he was saying, and it was pretty crazy. He said he picked Cyborg, and dude, he was talking so funny, like just his accent. I'm sorry, like he was saying Cyborg. He's like, I picked Cyborg. Like, he was, like, saying it, like, intense, but, like, he had an accent.
He sounds like the Emperor from Star Wars.
Dude, he was. It was so weird. He's like...
I pick Cyborg.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. But, so he was saying that he met both Amanda Nunes and Cyborg, and that he's actually helped, like, Cyborg X to train with him, and he taught Cyborg some stuff, and that basically, like, he said Amanda Nunes, like, when she met him, acted like he wasn't shit.
Okay, so he picked for personal reasons.
Kind of, but he admitted it. He was all open and honest. He was basically saying that, like Cyborg, like, showed me such respect and, like, looked up to me as, like, a veteran in the game and, like, wanted to learn from me. And, like, I'm going to pick the person who actually came to my training sessions and I've trained before, then pick the person who
Did Nunes ever comment on that? Was there something about him that turned her off?
I've never heard anything about it. All he was saying is that just Amanda Nunes is, like, more of a laid-back person. That, like, he just got the vibe from Amanda Nunes.
Believe that. I believe that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That Cyborg is... And that's why I was, like, on Cyborg winning, because she just, like, seems so intense. But she just fought the wrong fight, dude.
I was going to say,
she fought the wrong fight.
Before that fight, she was the greatest female fighter of all time.
Absolutely.
But now you have to believe Amanda Nunes. Cyborg hadn't lost a fight in a decade. And Nunes knocked her out first fucking round, baby.
Dude, it blew my mind. It literally
blew my mind. The fucking lioness, Amanda Nunes, is running shit now. It literally
blew my mind because, like, I know Amanda Nunes is good, but also you have to understand, Cyborg is a humongous human being. Like, Cyborg walks around in, like, the 170s.
I know.
You know what I mean? She has to cut, like, 20, 30 pounds to get down to 145 to fight.
Well, so do you think Nunes should have to class up for a rematch, or do you think they're going to have their rematch in that weight class down to 145, 150?
No. This is what I'm saying. No. They went to 140. Nunes went up. if Cyborg is going to rematch for that belt, it would be 145.
Oh.
That was the belt they fought for.
Oh,
Amanda, they
okay,
only
gotcha.
fought for one belt.
Gotcha,
They only fought for one belt. Amanda Nunes was the 135 champ. Okay? So Amanda Nunes, that's like her normal weight, 135. She had to bulk up to get to 145.
Well, what's Cyborg normally fight?
145.
So Nunes bulked up to Cyborg.
Nunes bulked up to Cyborg.
Beat her in her own class.
That's what I'm saying.
All
Exactly.
the more fucking impressive.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Nunes is a smaller person than Cyborg. Cyborg literally is like a 170-pound person walking around every day. You know what I mean? Nunes is like in the 130s, 140s, like
Much
way smaller.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean?
I'm with you.
So like at 145, Cyborg is like ripped and huge, and Nunes is like much smaller.
Gotcha.
But Cyborg just like, this is what happened. Nunes kicked Cyborg once, and like Cyborg just was like, damn, that hurt.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like
No, I saw.
literally,
No.
Right
She
out the
went for
gate, Nunes kicked her.
She kicked her right in the calf, like one of those calf kicks,
and like
she stumbled
Cyborg
from it.
stumbled and just like, I'm going in for the kill, and she just like runs in and starts like swinging, like completely
No, Cyborg
not
never
thinking.
stood a chance. Honestly,
She stood a chance.
She never stood a chance. She was
If
knocked
she
out in the
didn't
first
do
round.
that, if she didn't go in like a psycho, she just went in swinging and left her face open. All Amanda Nunes had to do was duck a couple times and just throw counters. Like,
Well, that's my
Amanda
point.
Nunes
That's my
connected
point.
2 or
It's like
3 perfect shots.
If Cyborg really thought she was going to be able to go toe-to-toe with Nunes like that, you're right. She was fighting the wrong fight from
That's
the
what I'm saying.
beginning.
No, she fought the wrong
But-
fight. She shouldn't have rushed in. She should have sat back a little bit and showed Nunes respect.
Been a counterpuncher
She did not
more.
show Nunes any respect. Because Cyborg, that's what she usually does. She thinks she can just rush in and basically bull rush anyone, and she usually can just overpower her opponents.
Well, I was going to say, dude, I mean, dude, when you win every single fight for a decade straight, of course you're going to make the bull rushing mistake. It's the same mistake Ronda made when Ronda got too cocky.
But it's not, of course you're going to make it. Like,
I mean,
you
dude,
trained for
you're more
months.
likely-
You trained for months.
I was gonna
you
say-
have real professionals telling you what to do. You shouldn't make that mistake.
But you're more likely to bull rush when you're on a 10-year winning streak. Because maybe
I
Cyborg
guess.
didn't respect Nunes like that.
No,
because,
she didn't.
Because
She
maybe,
didn't.
I don't know. You'd have to go back and see her fights. But maybe for the last few years, she hasn't respected anybody like that. Because,
She hasn't.
because nobody could step to her.
Right.
It was the same shit with Ronda.
But Cyborg should have known to respect Nunes of all people because A, she's a champion.
Right.
She's the champion of her weight class.
Definitely.
So like she's not just like someone who's ranked in your weight class. She's proven herself, first of all. Second of all, I don't know if you know this, but Cyborg was saying she never wanted to fight Amanda Nunes because they're both Brazilian. Amanda Nunes eventually called out Cyborg and was like, I don't care. Like, I know you don't want to fight me, but you claim you're the best. So like, I'll show you up.
Are Brazilians just the best fighters?
They might be.
You know, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and it sounds
Well,
like they
no.
dominate the women's division.
Well, Cyborg and Amanda Nunes are the two best fighters,
best,
basically,
probably
and
of
they're
all-
both Brazilian. Yes,
Probably of all
yes,
time, too.
yes. Brazilians obviously have incredible fighters. Yes. But Amanda Nunes called out Cyborg, and Cyborg eventually caved and was like, "All right, this is the fight people want. Like, I'll do it." But like, she should have known that like Nunes is a real threat. She should have known that.
Have you ever considered Twitch streaming yourself watching UFC fights?
Have I considered that? I think I did. I think I might have, but I'm sure I have. But this is the problem. I don't want to say if I'm necessarily always paying for my UFC fights, but I'm saying like to get UFC on my television.
Your friends have them for you, right?
Well, usually I go over to a party or watch it at a bar
yeah.
or something of that nature. So for me to pay for a UFC fight to get it on my TV where my Twitch setup is,
Yeah, it's a little much.
you know what I mean?
I got you.
It makes much more sense to Twitch. Like, for example, tonight could have been a night to Twitch football all day.
True.
Tomorrow is a day you could Twitch football.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
That's a
like,
good idea, too.
Like, twitching football is something that people do. I guarantee you, if you pulled up Twitch right now and you look at the sports category, at least 50,000 people in there.
So what do you think is the appeal to watching other people watch sports? Is it because you feel like you're watching with somebody? Because like for those who don't know, basically, like on Twitch, you'll go to someone's channel and you'll see the game. Like if you wanted to watch the Cowboys Seahawks right now, you could watch the game on Twitch. There's just going to be a screen or multiple screens of the people who are watching it. So
probably.
Yeah. So
not even. It's not even guaranteed. Some people Twitch without a webcam.
That's true. Some people do Twitch without a webcam.
Someone might just show the whole game.
But what do you think is the appeal to watching along with somebody like that? Why do you think people are drawn to that?
Well, a couple reasons. First of all, it depends on who the person is. If they already have a fan base or something, like if you're Ninja and you do a Thursday night football thing, you have fans who just want to hang out with you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if you're already a successful person, like if you're Andy Milanakis or whatever it is, and you're doing just like a hangout thing, you're going to get people in there just to like talk and hang out and chill.
But what about those Twitch streamers who say have 20 people watching them, not 200,000 like fucking Ninja?
Well, the appeal would be...
What is the appeal for that?
I think there's a couple. It depends. There's a few reasons. There could be a few reasons. It could either be you're someone like one of these people who we have a few friends who try to write sports blogs and do more of a sports angle. So they might do like commentary.
That's true.
You know what
commentary,
I mean? They could turn the volume down on the game and they're doing the play-by-play.
So for example, like I got my buddy Scott who runs theendofthebench.com. So if I was a Yankee fan and I didn't want to listen to fucking Michael Kay or John Sterling,
I might do it for the Yankees.
I could do it because him and like his buddy Pat would be there talking about the game, and I would value what they had to say more than what the
it's not even just that. It could just be like you might just be bored and alone and want to watch the game and don't want to watch the game alone. So you go into a Twitch channel where someone's watching the game
and you can interact with them. You could type in the chat.
Dude, I popped into like a Thursday night game randomly for like a minute. And there was some guy just drinking and was like drunk and was just like, oh man, look at that play. Like I literally walked, I turned on the channel as there was like a huge 50-yard like touchdown pass. And he was just getting excited.
Which is cool
so
to
it just
watch.
like, exactly. You know what I mean? It just like literally, that's what I'm saying. If you want to watch the game, but you're not going out to watch the game or you're not literally already watching the game with other people, it's a way to watch the game with other people. You know what I mean? I look at it kind of similar to like TV shows that people live tweet.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Usually reality shows is the case for that, yeah.
Mostly, but it just makes whatever you're doing a little bit more interactive. Like you could chat in the chat, people can say stuff,
so do you think that's
people.
What it is? Do you think we're trying to bleed interactivity into a more passive activity like watching TV?
Absolutely.
And do you think
you want to get into it? We could talk about I'm saying we could talk about the video I showed you. What was that last night? The Buddhism and science video?
Yeah, that was next level. We could let's try and build on those two things. Let's build on that last one and let's build on I'm saying
they go together.
Okay, cool. We'll bridge them together. Let's do this shit.
Because I think, Nick, if you just look at like social media, what is it's all about interconnectivity.
It's blending audience and performer into one.
It's
in a sense. That's what I've always felt about it a little bit.
Yeah, it does do that, but it's not just that. It's a way for people to like find a sense of community outside of themselves with other people who share similar interests.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Everyone has their interests or hobbies, some of which might be very niche.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Well, let me tell you, here's one of the things that show me how valuable that is, right? So anyone who follows along knows I play a lot of Soul Calibur 6, right? So
of course.
If I right, if I'm
of course.
So like I was struggling against Nightmare. Nightmare was a character I was struggling against.
Wait.
What's up?
You're saying I know Soul Calibur 6. I just want to verify. Nightmare and what's the other one that's like Nightmare?
Inferno or Siegfried?
Inferno. Okay.
Inferno's
banned.
illegal.
That's what I'm saying.
Inferno's illegal.
But Nightmare isn't.
Nightmare is legal.
So Nightmare is your biggest struggle, probably.
Yeah, exactly. Nightmare and Raphael. So I was having a little bit of trouble. So I'm inside this Discord for the game Soul Calibur 6.
Which I've been wanting to talk to you about Discord in general.
Yeah.
Because I'm on some Discords.
I can get you
but I don't fully understand Discord.
Gotcha. Well, I'll show you how it has utility for me, right? Like
you don't have to right this second.
I could. No, that's what I was talking about anyway.
So then go for it.
Yeah, we go.
Because I'm curious about Discord. Like I've joined. I'll just say from my perspective, I've joined Discords through people I follow on Twitch. For example, like Andy Milanakis.
Gotcha.
And among other people.
I'm not.
But like basically, I just see it's like a chat room that has like all these different rooms that like have different labels and purposes for different reasons, and you can interact in them, I guess, in whatever way.
Yes.
But like. I'm just not that active on Discord because, like, I just don't. I don't get it exactly.
I'm not in any discords for like an individual. Like I'm not in an Andy Milanakis Discord or a Ninja Discord or a Young Jamie Discord. I'm not.
You're
in
just
any of those.
But like
I'm in Discords primarily
for the games
video games I like to play and for some cryptocurrency. I'm in some cryptocurrency and like financial Discords
but like
too.
See, dude, I wasn't even exposed to Discord until I got exposed to Twitch recently.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know how to find a random Discord for just a game.
Reddit.
I would love to. Reddit, you get it?
Reddit is a good place to find them. Usually if you make a post and ask somebody to hook you up or help you out, somebody will. But I'll go back to what I was explaining before. So like the character I like to primarily play as is Ivy. And I was struggling against Nightmare. So in this Discord, inside my Soul Calibur 6 Discord, there was a room for how to defeat Nightmare. Tips and tricks for combating Nightmare. So I go in
with specific characters. So it's had Ivy tips.
Specific instructions for Ivy Valentine players on how to combat Nightmare, and they have that for every character. They do that in Smash. So like if you love King K. Rool, get into a Smash Discord. There'll be people there to help you match up against people you can't beat. Like if you can't beat Isabella, she keeps pissing you off with the fucking fishing rod, or you can't beat Yoshi, he's pissing you off with a fucking egg. You look in there and you get those tips and tricks on how to beat them.
And I think that's great. And I have to, and trust me, like I said, I've joined a bunch of Discords, but they're all primarily like run by Twitch streamers.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'm really
I need to get into more generic game type Discords.
A little bit more broad, because it needs to have some sense of utility, right?
No, of course.
You know, it's like you could be inside the fucking Andy Milanakis Discord if you're really trying to like hook up with him and like his following. But like if you're in a game, if you play Super Smash Brothers, like, and you get into a Super Smash Discord, like, there's so much things in there.
Are you in a Super Smash Discord?
Yeah, I'm in a Smash Discord. I can hook
that up.
I can hook that up. But like, there's like people post their artwork. Like, there's artists in there.
Nick, I'm in like 10 Discords.
Yeah, so you know what's going on.
I know what's going on, but like,
you hit the mix. You know what's going on.
Don't bring up Timmy's
We won't talk
mix.
about the mix. We won't talk about the mix.
For anyone listening,
no.
Go to YouTube. What's the name of the video?
Timmy's Mix by, I think, Colin Montiel. So look for Timmy's Mix by Colin Montiel. It's just, you'll love it. There's no words.
We're not going to talk about it anymore.
Correct.
But if you want to watch the video, give it some views, because it should have 1 million by now, and it's got about 150.
It's a really well-made video.
For what it is. For what it is, exactly. For what it is, it should be doing better than it did.
I agree. Same with the Secret of the Pyramids video that he's got.
Which all of these things that we're talking about is making me want to bring up your turtleneck.
My turtleneck, yes. So for those of you who are watching, well, I don't really need to say it for you because you can see. But for those of you that are listening, I'm wearing a maroon turtleneck. Now, you see, this turtleneck can be seen on the 1980s version of Carl Sagan's Cosmos. Now, for years, I'd been asking my friends and family to get me the Carl Sagan turtleneck for Christmas. Usually, after that request, it was met with a laugh, and then we end up talking about the Cosmos. My problem has been these last few years is nobody actually took that seriously. But last year, in 2018, you, Dougie T TV, you got me this turtleneck for Christmas. And it's comfortable, it's convenient,
He
it's
made
stylish.
it too easy. He told me he wanted the turtleneck, so I went and bought the turtleneck.
Well, you took me seriously.
No, that's what I'm saying, and that's why. And you told me that.
I'm a simple man,
and that's what I'm saying. And I felt bad because I've heard this story previous years.
Yes.
Like this wasn't the first year you told me this, and like after you told me it this year, I was like, why wouldn't I just buy the turtleneck? I'm like, I know he wants the turtleneck. You know, like literally, I was like, I'm sure. Like it's a shame that like someone in his family or someone else hasn't bought him the turtleneck by now.
I've been asking.
I know. So I bought the turtleneck.
Rest in peace, Carl Sagan.
What were we just talking about before this?
We were talking about Discords, and we were talking about
Discord.
Twitch, the appeal to watching the games.
But I'm saying in general, yes, you were saying, is this moving towards interconnectivity?
Interactivity and interconnectivity.
Interactivity, either or both. I think, dude, this like a huge fear of mine, but a huge like maybe a cool thing. I don't know if it's good or bad. But I'm saying, like, from my perspective, where we're going with this social media and things like Twitch and just being more interactive in general is, first of all, like, I showed Nick and his roommate this video last night about Buddhism and science, which spoke about philosophies in Buddhism that have been around for thousands of years and how more modern science has proven a lot of it in different weird ways through quantum physics. And an aspect of it is interconnectivity, how everything is actually interconnected. And I'm saying, like, with social media and all these things, there's going to be possibly an eventual, like, hive mind. Have you ever thought of the hive mind idea?
It's funny you bring that up because one of the things I love to talk about on this podcast is, are you or are you not Chip Gang?
You do? Okay. See, Joe, your roommate, who I'm sure some listeners know. Episode 1, of course. He mentioned that you mentioned this on the podcast. I didn't know that this was a consistent thing.
I tried. I forgot for like 6 straight episodes, but I've been doing better with it. So the hive mind thing, this is one of the many, not only fears, some people think it's cool too, that like if we move to a point where everybody's putting the chip in their brain or in their blood, whatever it is, it's like you're saying we're all going to have access to each other's thoughts.
Right.
That's and we're all going to be collectively...
Well, we're going to be in one cloud. Like how there's the cloud now, but we're connected to it through our cell phones. We're going to be directly connected to some sort of cloud.
So before we continue, I want your word, Dougie TTV. Are you Chip Gang?
Is this like a game show?
It was pretty good, right?
That was a game show.
Steve Harvey, hit me up. I could do it. I could be your successor.
You have to do New Year's Eve next year.
I gotta do New Year's. Yo, I'm gonna do a New Year's Eve podcast. I'm gonna do a New Year's Eve podcast next year.
But I'm saying you gotta do New Year's Eve with Steve Harvey and be his little Steve Harvey.
The little Steve Harvey.
That's how you get in.
Dude, that tripped me the fuck out.
His little Steve Harvey was weird.
It was hilarious, though.
It was
I'll
weird,
give him
though.
that.
Okay, but am I Chip Gang? I don't know. I really don't know.
It's a fair answer. Where are you leaning? Like, if you had to pick right now.
If I had to pick right now.
You chipping?
If I had to do it like right now today, no.
No
but
chip. Okay.
I'm like 3rd, 4th, maybe 5th generation Chip.
Not the early adopter.
Exactly. Like, I'm not going to get the first iPhone. You know what I mean? But
That's a good point. But are you afraid of falling behind?
Yes.
So,
absolutely. And that's why I'm saying. So basically, I have to gauge it out. I'm not going to get the first one and be the idiot who has a bug or like
gets
some
hacked.
virus or gets hacked. You know what I mean? I'm going to stay back and see what's going on for a while. And eventually, if it really is like going down like that, like everyone's getting it and it really is beneficial and like there's no way around it, yeah, I'm probably going to go with it. But dude, this leads me to the other thing.
Go for it.
A huge issue that I have with this that I think about all the effing time.
Fair.
Is like if you get chipped, because I look at 2 things happening right now in our lifetime that are both like simultaneously happening as we head towards the singularity that freak me out. They both excite me, but like freak me out. One is the Chip Gang thing, is like getting chipped or being technologically enhanced in some way.
Yeah, are you opening a back door for somebody to hack your mind?
Yes.
That's what I fear. That's what I fear.
Well, I'm just saying, I just think consciousness is a very special thing that we don't have figured out.
I agree.
And to tamper with it before we even understand it is a risky endeavor.
Do you think it's possible? No, I have to ask a question based on that. Do you think it's possible for science to understand consciousness?
Eventually, I would hope.
So?
I want them to.
Me too.
Do I think we're going to? I don't know. I think that's our hardest issue.
Well, I think what makes one of the things, it's like the thing that makes getting chipped exciting is the very thing that makes it terrifying too. It's the idea that this is something that can change your consciousness.
Right.
And like, here's the thing: if it expands your consciousness to make you like more aware and more connected,
it could be incredible.
It could be brilliant. It could be the
incredible.
greatest thing we've ever done.
Absolutely.
But there's that fear of, is it going to create the back door for somebody to hack me, give me a virus?
But not even just the back door or a virus.
Sure.
It's going to change who you are. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You're not going to be the same person
fundamental
anymore.
change. It's
you know
a fundamental
what I mean?
change.
And that's like, but the other thing that I was going to say that goes right along with this,
go for it,
is as people are starting to get chipped, we're going to be gaining a greater and greater understanding of overcoming death. And
do you think that's a good thing? Do you think we should overcome death?
I don't know. I think about this a lot, but it freaks me out. Like I do think we're gonna stop, because basically, from what I understand, why we age is there's something in our cells that are called telomeres that basically, as we get older, they deplete, and once they're done, we die. If we could figure out how to make our telomeres stop aging, we can halt the aging process. A lot of people are working on this. They're making progress. It's not impossible to think that we're going to crack the code of like how to stop telomeres from aging in the next 50 years or something. This is something that we will maybe have to deal with in our lifetime. Do we want to take some sort of pill every day to keep us from aging? So right inside with that is, before that though, is getting chipped and then probably putting your consciousness into a computer.
Uploading your consciousness so that
Right.
you could transfer from shell to shell.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So basically.
So what do you think is more likely, if I may? Do you think it's more likely we get to a point where we leave our bodies and we become like sort of cyborgs and we upload our consciousness and have those uploaded into cyborgs? Or do you think it's more likely we get to what you were saying and we take a pill that can kind of stop these telomeres from our cells aging? Do you think the answer is to actually make the body better, or do you think it's leaving the body altogether? What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is better?
For me, I think definitely making the body better is better.
So you think we have a real connection to our body and we shouldn't shave that off so hastily?
Absolutely. I do not think that. I think the people who are going to download their consciousness and try to exist in a different shell are people who are much older than us right now. Someone like Ray Kurzweil. Someone who is going to be approaching death around the chip gang time and is going to like have this option, because the telomere thing is going to happen, but that's going to take a little longer. You know what I mean? So they're going to be people who like are going to be dying and they're going to be like, okay, we could upload you. But like, to me, that's not the person anymore.
I agree. Now you're just a collection of data running a consistent algorithm.
Exactly. I think if you take a copy or whatever it is of someone's consciousness or chip or brain or whatever it is and put it in a robot body shell, that to me is no longer that fucking person.
That's a big fear of mine, is that would be the case. And I think you're right. You know what I mean? Well, it's like when
and I think the only people who are going to be doing that are the people who aren't going to be able to make it.
They're like kind of the in-betweeners.
Exactly.
I mean, this was going into what you were, what we watched yesterday, the Buddhism and neuroscience video. We've always believed, both in Eastern and Western traditions, that like we have a sacred connection to our bodies.
Well, dude, our body, like the fact that we're like connected to our body and like have that perspective of like our limbs and like different things and like reaching and touching is like one of the few things that we have to prove that like we're real.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like have we not had a body and we're just like a floating orb of light and couldn't like touch ourselves?
Didn't have these senses.
Right. You know what I mean?
No, I mean that because that's the other thing is we know the universe through our senses. Mostly. That's how we identify everything. Most of our brain is organized through vision. Hence the eye on the top of the pyramid. But do you foresee that they're going to create like a nervous system for the cyborg to make the cyborg feel as much like the human body as possible? If you could restore the sensations of our senses, do you agree with your previous thesis that it's no longer a person? Do you still agree with that thesis?
This is what I'm saying. I think eventually we'll get there, and this is where I'm at. See, this is okay. I just figured it out. I'll break it down what I think about this. Okay. So I do think we will have like cyborg human type bodies eventually that will be able to be run on either and or both just super enhanced AI, that's just like pure artificial intelligence, or uploaded AI consciousness from someone's brain or body that is their body's going to die and they're going to transfer it to the fucking cyborg type robot. I think both those things are very likely, quite possibly in our lifetime. But the main thing is, see, let's say you're someone like Ray Kurzweil, you have an upgraded brain, you've been saving your consciousness and you're going to die and you want to transfer it to a cyborg. Okay? The only way to know if that cyborg is actually Ray Kurzweil is to do the double slit experiment with Ray Kurzweil.
So what is the double slit? What is it? The double
slit experiment.
Double slit experiment. What is that?
I'm pretty sure what it's called.
Okay,
but it's a basic experiment in quantum physics. Okay,
listening.
That basically, if you do this, if you set up like two slits in a wall and shoot a bunch of particles through the slits, okay, and they're humans watching the experiment, then the particles take a definitive place on the other side of the wall. If you run the experiment and only a computer is watching it, there's no actual consciousness watching it, the particles do not take a definitive place in space and time, and they just appear as potential energy and waves.
So what you're saying is human observation, or observation in general, visual observation,
consciousness
has an effect on the reality
on
around
base
us.
reality.
Okay.
On base reality. This is what I was saying. I mentioned this to Joe last night. This is literally consciousness. Without it, base reality does not exist. Without it being perceived or like seen by a human being, no particle or atom would have a definitive place in space and time. Like your closet right here. You have a closet right in front of me. There's clothes in there.
Yes.
Right now, we cannot see those clothes. We are not actually perceiving them. So they are just infinite waves of potential energy. They have no definitive place in space and time.
So you're telling me there's a symbiotic relationship between the observation of energy and the energy taking shape.
Exactly, essentially.
Now, that's interesting.
And that energy actually being concrete and existing.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you something else. I wanted to ask you,
yeah,
because we were talking about yesterday how these ancient religions and ancient mythologies contained wisdom that alluded to things.
Sorry, don't want to cut you off.
It's okay. It's okay. That made me lose my train of thought. So we were talking about how ancient mythologies and ancient religions have this wisdom in them that, at least in the case of Buddhism, has been confirmed by neuroscience. One example would be one thing about Buddhism, they always talked about the emptiness.
Yes. That
the majority of your existence is actually emptiness. And when you're meditating on that emptiness. Science later confirmed that 99.9% of the universe is emptiness.
Yes.
So, the Buddhists didn't necessarily word it that way, but you can confirm that they were onto something.
Right.
So what I wanted to bring up is the mythological trope of the all-seeing eye. Do you think that ties into what we were talking about now, how conscious observation itself has an effect on the reality around us?
Probably. I don't necessarily know enough about the all-seeing eye trope to definitively say that. Like, I don't know exactly where it came from.
Well, I know one of the major ways to interpret it is that because the eye is usually on top of the pyramid, which is a hierarchy.
Of course.
And the idea is like he who pays attention will ascend the hierarchy.
That's an interesting way of looking at it.
Yeah.
I've never heard it put that way, but that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
The way I always perceived it is that is more from like a religious perspective of like there is some sort of God or above thing that watches everything, which
it's like that idea that the common, like today's scientists, like even like Neil deGrasse Tyson will say is like, we are the universe experiencing itself.
Yes, exactly.
Like we were pushed here so the universe could discover itself, discover what a moon is, a planet, a star.
Right. Well, I've always, as far as like God or any like the way I understand it from like what the video I showed you guys last night about Buddhism and science, if you understand that everything is 99.9% empty space, and then you also understand that everything is actually not solid but a wave until there's a conscious mind observing it, that all of that empty space and potential energy is God to me. You know what I mean? Like the fact that anything exists and anything and everything can exist.
It's like the ether. It's like the old.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't know. I'm sure you know a little bit about Jung.
Do you, like Carl Jung?
Yes.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah. I know plenty.
What was his books? He did a bunch of books about the subconscious and like did a lot
Modern Man in Search of a Soul.
I don't,
because I just read that one. It had a lot to do with the subconscious and like dream interpretation.
Yes, he's big into all that sort of stuff. But like, I forgot. I lost my train of thought. But I was gonna say there's something to. Like, there's definitely, I don't know, some sort of where I'm getting a little lost here, but I'm thinking that there's like a little sort of like if there's so much empty space, because also scientists say supposedly there's like 12 or so dimensions.
That's a theory. There's a theory on that. That's not anything that's confirmed.
I'm not saying that's proven. No, I know.
Yeah.
Well, there's also the multiverse theory that there's like an infinite amount of them.
See, I could believe that.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
really
do you want to know what this is where I believe it makes sense to me if you understand this.
Go for it.
That like in our solar system, this is what I think. And I thought of this years ago, and then I heard a scientist talk about it and I was like, yeah, I thought of that. Not that I like came up with it original.
You pulled it out of the ether.
Yeah, but I'm saying like I just thought about this by myself one day.
It's like I'll let you continue in a second. That's something that astounds me because I feel like human beings all have like these antennas on top.
Absolutely.
And like we just receive like our thoughts are just like transmissions we're picking up.
They definitely
And
can
it's like
be.
you and that scientist picked up the same transmission.
Yes.
Only he had the resources and the knowledge to actually do
Well,
something. With it,
yeah.
you
But
know?
basically, so it was like, okay, so we live in a solar system, which has a sun in the middle and then planets moving around it. And then that solar system is in a galaxy, which has a bunch of solar systems moving around a black hole.
Yes.
So it's my understanding that there's, first of all, clearly probably a massive black hole at the center of the universe somewhere that all the galaxies move around. And then it's likely that if there's a black hole in the middle of every galaxy, and then maybe some sort of super black hole that's in the middle of the universe, we don't know what's on the other side of the black hole. But I think it's very likely that there's other universes on the other end of every black hole.
So they're almost like gates. They're gates
Exactly.
into another dimension.
Well, if you think of what they were saying about everything could be two sides of the same coin, I look at a black hole as like a coin.
And I definitely
like a heads
see the
and
world
tails.
like that. Yin and yang, I see it everywhere, man.
But I'm saying with the black hole, it's like I feel like you could see on one side. If a coin is flat, you can only see one side of it.
Correct.
You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean there's not a different face on the other side.
Ah, okay, I see what you
know
mean.
what I
but
mean?
What if we are the other side of the black hole, and being sucked into the black hole is being sucked into the opposite end of that? I might have just said gibberish, so don't let it confuse you too much.
I know. I know what you're saying, kind of.
Okay.
But I'm saying, like, dude, if you're getting sucked into a black hole on our end and you're being spit out on the other end, but we don't even know. But this is the thing: we don't know what happens when you on the other side, like when you cross the horizon. So, like, the black hole might just be like something that is just like a portal, or just like a doorway between, like, just some sort of blockage or like energy field to keep both sides existing.
True.
You know what I mean? That just like both sides, it might just be like some sort of magnet that like there's a positive end and a negative end, and the black hole kind of just like keeps energy flowing between the two.
It's a lot for me to take in.
Yeah, just a thought.
It's a lot. It's interesting, man, because you're right. We don't know what's past the event horizon. You know,
No, we do not.
We have ideas of what black holes are. I mean, we even have some psychos who I think are in the Norwegian countries that are fucking not Norwegian, Scandinavian countries that are making like tiny black holes so they could study black holes. Like, no, we've done this. We've made like tiny little black holes so that we can study them.
I'm gonna say I'm skeptical. Are you talking about the Large Hadron Collider?
No.
Because people were like afraid that was gonna make a black hole. I've heard about.
No, we've been making like tiny microscopic black holes to like.
I may have heard this. But like it's so small. Like
it's microscopic.
But that's what I'm saying. It's hard to like put into perspective what that would be compared to like the center of a galaxy.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So like,
there's a difference between a black hole being hosted on a planet's gravity and a black hole just in the deep of space. So, before we continue. Seeing as we don't really have that much time left, I actually wanted to spend some time on you and Dougie T TV.
Well, we don't have to spend too much time on it. Dougie T TV is a new thing. It's essentially just my handle.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm finishing up school this year. I have another year of school. I'm going to be doing some internships. I'm in the process of working some of them out. One is probably going to be happening eventually, coming up with a different podcast situation. So I'll fill you in with that eventually. I'm sure I'll be back on this podcast later in the year, and I could fill you in more about Dougie T TV situation.
Well, you do have some Twitch streaming going on.
I do, but I've taken a serious break from Twitch streaming. I'll tell you where I'm at with Twitch streaming. I need to do it more. I definitely need to do it more. I want to do it more. I haven't taken it seriously at all lately. I'm going to be doing it more. But where I'm at, there's two big things I want to Twitch stream.
Gotcha.
One thing that I definitely want to do, because I'm going to watch it anyway, and I just want to experiment and see if there's anything there, is when Celebrity Big Brother comes out. Big Brother, huge fan of the show.
Reality show for those listening.
Yes, if you do not know, Big Brother is a reality TV show. They have it every summer with like regular house guests. In the winter now, they've been doing celebrity seasons. So there's going to be, that's starting in like early February, I think. Mm-hmm. But it's on 3 times a week for an hour. So, like, it would be 3 consistent Twitch streams every week. And, like, so that is something I definitely want to try and do. I haven't set up a Twitch stream yet with TV. I obviously know people can do it. You know what I mean? I've never did it. Like, I've I've only hooked up my Twitch with my video game systems, not with directly to my television. I'm sure it works because I've watched people do football and other things and movies and stuff. But that I definitely plan on doing. And I am just waiting for all the Final Fantasy games to come out on Switch.
Yes.
And then I'm just going to be a hardcore Final Fantasy guy.
You'll be a Final Fantasy streamer? Dude, I'd watch you all the time.
Some of my
100%.
favorite Twitch streams are the Final Fantasy ones.
Gotcha.
I found a couple good ones for Final Fantasy 7. I
was going to say, man, but before you continue, one of my first introductions to video games was watching you play Final Fantasy 7.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying.
And that turned into one of my favorite games of all time.
Like, I am waiting for all the Final Fantasies to be on Switch, and then I'm just going to be twitching Final Fantasy all the time. Because I'm going to play, I want to play those games. I want to play those games, and I might as well Twitch them.
You might as well Twitch them. I mean, your Twitch streams are very entertaining because you're a very animated guy. So I've definitely gotten a kick out of them when I watch them.
Yeah, no, I need to do more of it. I haven't done enough. I've kind of taken a break.
Well, you had finals and stuff, and then there was the holidays.
I kind of purposely.
I took 2 weeks off streaming.
I basically took 2 or 3 weeks or so ish off life. Like the holidays, like I've just been chilling.
They do that too, man.
I've kind of just been chilling the past couple weeks. But
well, I mean, you also have a YouTube channel that I just want to touch on. So you can
do.
look up Dougie TTV. He puts his streams up there. You have some live shows.
Yeah, I just put up a couple random videos. Yeah, and that's also going to hopefully be a part of Dougie TTV. Like I'm going to school for business, so I also have like some music concentration, so I'm looking to kind of segue somehow into the music industry possibly. So I want to start taking more pictures and videos of some live shows. Trying to get to some live shows to take some pictures and start doing that as well. Building a portfolio, building a website, all that sort of stuff. Getting prepared for finishing school in the next year. So yeah, it's all a big work in progress. I'm gonna dude, I am in like no rush. Like the way I see it, that's just slow and steady. Like
Absolutely.
I know building a YouTube channel, building a Twitch channel is something that's like years worth of work. It's not just going to be like successful thing overnight.
I'm willing to bet that if you can stick to it, whether it be the Big Brother thing or it be the Final Fantasy thing, by the summer you'll be affiliated on Twitch. Twitch, listen, man, from my experience, Twitch comes with the reps. I've been Twitching for maybe a month and a half now, and I've got 30 followers. 20 more, and I'm an affiliate.
No, I hear what you're saying, but but the point of what I'm going to say,
keep up with it, it'll come.
Of course, but the only thing is the Big Brother thing is a huge. I don't know. That's like a coin toss.
You don't know how it's going to turn out.
I don't know. The Big Brother could be very receptive or not at all.
Well, I'll tell you,
I don't know if anyone's done that.
The Final
Fantasy,
yeah.
definitely. The Final Fantasy is going to be like my niche thing.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Like there's certain people, a lot of people, like I follow a bunch of different people, and a lot of them have like their go-to games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm going to make for Twitching, those my go-to games.
Well,
and like my other games.
Would you Twitch the new Final Fantasies too?
What new Final Fantasies are coming out?
Well, I mean, there's nothing on the docket right now. I mean, or the Final Fantasy 7 remake when that drops.
Are you kidding me? Like that is all I'm gonna want to do. Like that is the main thing. The Final Fantasy 7 remake. Like I'm gonna have like a problem. I'm gonna like literally like I'm gonna be stuck in my room.
Same.
And like people are gonna be worried about me.
I won't be worried about you.
No, you won't be worried about you. Won't be worried about me. But like life, like yes, when Final Fantasy comes out, Final Fantasy 7, the remake comes out, I will be twitching that. But that is like what I'm trying to be doing. I'm trying to be doing like mostly Final Fantasy stuff.
Final Fantasy 7 remake, but life.
Yeah, no.
No, I feel you.
It's gonna take over my life, Final Fantasy 7. But like, yeah, no, I can't play it like too fast. But like, I'm gonna be playing Final Fantasy.
Well, dude, there's gonna be an endless. The way Square Enix does things now, there's gonna be an endless amount of content in there. Like, I'm gonna start streaming Kingdom Hearts 3 in a matter of 23 days. I think it is now. There's gonna be so much content in there for me to run around and explore with. Like, fuck, man, I'm excited.
Kingdom Hearts 3 will be good.
Kingdom Hearts 3 is gonna be a good time.
I'm more excited about the Final Fantasy games though.
Well, dude,
I'm just waiting for every Final Fantasy game to come out on.
Which one are you most excited to play again of the whole series?
Well, 7. I'm waiting for the 7 remake. You have to understand. I've been waiting for Final Fantasy 7 remake since like the original Final Fantasy 7. Like before it was even like announced they're gonna remake it. Like I was like once
dreaming of
it. Once PlayStation 3 came out and like a better system, I was like Final Fantasy 7 with good graphics. Like oh my god. You know what I mean? Like, I've been fantasizing about this forever. So, like, that's the one I'm most excited for.
They're gonna make so much money on that fucking game.
But, like, the ones that I definitely played, I'm pretty sure, like, the ones that I was kind of into was, like, 9, 10, 11.
9 was fucking amazing. It's my favorite one in the series.
9 was one of my favorites, too. But, like, you understand, I played these games so long ago. Like, when did 9? 9 was on what? PlayStation 2?
9? No, it was one of the last games to come out on the first PlayStation.
It was on PlayStation. That's what I'm saying. So, like, 9.
I have the fucking I have it over there.
So, like, 9 is, like, really freaking old.
Yeah, hold on. I'll grab the case so we can see what year. But keep going.
So, like, Final Fantasy 9, I know I played it. I know I loved it. But, like, I don't remember it. You know what I mean? Like, I played it when I was, like, a kid. Oh, you literally have...
Yeah,
wait.
no, I literally have the
Wait,
case
let me
over
see. That looks like 7. No, 9.
That's
Yo,
9, that's
no,
9.
9. I love this. This dude. What's this dude's name?
I always forget. Oh, Zidane.
Zidane.
Yeah, I always,
but they also had this
name the
weird
characters.
no.
I always name the
Yeah,
characters, so I
okay,
forget
word.
sometimes. But no, you got Zidane, you got Vivi, you got Garnett. Dude,
But no, I loved me Final
this one.
Fantasy 9. No, I loved me
Let
Final
me see if I
Fantasy
can get the
9.
year out of this.
Oh, yeah, that's what we came in.
2008, 19 years
2000.
ago,
That's what I'm saying. It's almost 20 years ago. So, like, this game, I loved it when I was a freaking kid. I do not remember it at all other than it was dope.
Bro, I replayed it when I moved home from Charleston.
Well, if you replayed it, then yeah, you have to
I
have
replayed
a better
it,
idea.
Like, winter of 2000. Actually, it's funny. I met Charlotte, like, just several weeks after I just replayed this.
Interesting.
Yeah, but dude, it was it holds up, man. Like the graphics are still beautiful.
It was a great
like
game.
the story is fucking magnificent, which Square Enix most of the time nails their story. But it's just goddamn. I'd be down with a Final Fantasy 9 remake too, for fuck's sake.
Aren't they? Isn't I thought that was coming to the Switch?
No, it is. I mean, like full fledged, like Final Fantasy 7.
So
full fledged.
So what you're saying is just so I'm clear, the Final Fantasies that are coming to the Switch are going to be in their original form?
In their original HD ported. So it's
Okay.
like they'll
So
look better, but it won't be.
So it's kind of like, is it like Spyro or Crash coming back?
No. See, those were full
Full,
makeovers.
yeah, okay.
The Final Fantasy VII is the only one entry in the series right now getting a full-fledged makeover for.
Okay, so
they know it'll sell.
So the rest of the Final Fantasies that are going to come to the Switch are going to be like playing
HD
them.
ports.
But so they're going to be essentially playing the original games.
It depends. See, Final Fantasy VII won't look too much better because it's going to have those blocky graphics.
Yeah, of course.
But like this one
that
in
should
HD,
look pretty good. It
it's
should
going to
look
look
pretty
ridiculous.
Good. And anything 9 and after 9, 10, 11,
they all look
12
gorgeous.
should
They
all look great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we got to wrap this thing
That's
up
what I was going to
soon.
say. Is it time?
It's getting there. Do you have anything else you want to touch on quickly? We got a couple minutes if you need to.
I think we talked about a lot of good things.
Yeah, I think so too. It was pretty smooth. It went quick.
Yeah, I'm ready to come back, bro.
Yeah. All right. So let's close this thing out. Dougie T TV. Let the people know where they can find you.
Dougie T _TV, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, everywhere, Snapchat, Twitch, yes.
Yeah, definitely give him a follow on Twitch. You can find him on Instagram.
Yeah, if you're listening to this and you could follow me on Twitch, I would greatly appreciate it.
That's Dougie T _TV.
Yes,
doing some great things.
Feel free to message me. I'm a normal guy. You could talk to me. You want to chat about any of these weird things we talked about today, I'm all for it.
Hells yeah, he's going to be coming out with he already has, but a variety of content. Your interests are very broad, very well expanded.
And that's like
I think
kind
that's
of
what makes you interesting.
It makes me interesting because I do have a wide range of interests,
you're like Neapolitan ice cream.
That's funny.
You know,
but I'm trying to be more focused with my interests and that's why I'm saying like with Twitch, I don't want to just be twitching like a bunch of random games.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
You want to be like the Final Fantasy Big Brother guy.
Well, basically, like while Big Brother's going on, I want that to be like the main thing that people know that I'm twitching. Like I'll maybe Twitch games too during the season, but like that's 3 Twitch streams a week that like I want to commit to.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with you.
And then like once the Final Fantasy comes out, like I want to be committed to like making a schedule that like I'm going to play at least these hours every week of like these Final Fantasy games.
Fuck yeah.
You know what I mean? So like right now, taking it slow. I'm going to be doing some more things, but yeah, 2019 should be a good year. You should be seeing more content. Thanks, Nick.
Fuck yeah. Thank you, Doug. You're always welcome on here.
Awesome.
As you know,
Thank you.
I'll be having you on again in a couple months. And everybody, again, that's Dougie T _TV.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you for tuning in. And Doug, thank you very much, man.
No problem, bro. Have a good one.
You too. Like we're fucking gonna go anywhere, exactly. Right? Yeah.